Welcome to A Better Choice Homestead. My name is Kelly. We're in the kitchen. We are going to be making, get this, carb-free raviolis. Yep, you heard that right. So this is a recipe that I found probably 10 or 11 years ago when I was on a full keto diet after my second diagnosis of cancer. And it is actually a really good one. And somebody else in my family is gung-ho on keto right now, so I've been revisiting all of those old recipes. This is going to be kind of a long prep, so I will fast forward through a lot of it, but I'll make sure I go into detail in each of the steps at least for a minute. So let me bring you down, let me show you what we're starting with, and let's get cooking. I'm going to start by making the noodles that I'm going to serve with the raviolis, and I'm going to be using zucchini for this. I have them washed and I have the ends cut off over here. I'm going to be catching them on a wire rack lined baking sheet because I'm going to put them in the oven at 200 degrees while the raviolis cook, and that's going to draw a lot of the moisture out of the Zoodles. So I have a spiralizer here, and I bought this, probably 11 years or so ago. I think you can find them anywhere. I don't think that they're very expensive, and they're so easy to use. They come with different blade attachments. So this is the wider noodle cut that I'm going to be using. The blades stack inside this tray here. And all you have to do is stick one end, let me see if I can give you a better look here. Stick one end, I use the cut end, onto this center middle ring. So I try to position it right into the center. And then I just push this end onto it so it's on there nice and tight. And then I just hold the machine steady. Now it does have suction cups at the bottom, but because I'm using a wooden cutting board, it's not going to suction to this board. So I just make sure that I hold it down. I can hold it here for a while, but as this pushes in, I'll have to move my hand. But it couldn't be easier. You just spin it and out comes noodles. As you can see, this is really easy. And after about 5 or so turns, I pull the noodles off because I don't want them super long. And when you're done, you have a core. And I set those aside because my dogs absolutely love zucchini, and those are a nice treat for them. So I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of these Zoodles made up. You can also buy Zoodles pre-made at the grocery store. I don't want to pay for somebody to do this because this is really easy. But I'll bring you back as soon as I'm done, and we're moving on to the next step. I have a very, very full tray of zucchini. I used 6. These will cook down small. I probably will not be using all of these. I will prep them. I will get them salted to help draw out the moisture. And then into the oven at 200 degrees for not too long, while we're cooking the raviolis. So the oven is already preheated. Raviolis will take just a bit to make, so I'm not going to stick these in just yet. I'm liberally salting these. The salt will kind of come off as the juices are pulled out. So these are not going to end up too salty at the end. I'm going to set these guys aside, and we're going to make the filling for the ravioli. I'm going to start with some ricotta. That's what I have on hand. You can also do this with mascarpone. Probably going to put in about half of this container. At least to start. And then I've got half a block of cream cheese that I want to use up. And I'm just going to mix those together. To this, I'm going to add a little salt and pepper. Seasonings are always to taste. I'm also going to be adding some of this half hot. I don't really know what kind of peppers these are. I got them at the farmer's market last year. They're absolutely delicious. They're sweet and they're spicy, but they're not too hot. So I'm going to add a liberal amount of that. And then I'm also going to be adding some freeze-dried, roasted and mashed eggplant, which I think is going to just be lovely in this. But you don't have to add any of these extras. Just the cheese is plenty. I'm going to give that a mix. The nice thing about the freeze-dried eggplant is it powders down, so it's just going to impart a beautiful flavor inside the ravioli. You could add some dried herbs like parsley or oregano, some thyme, whatever you want inside with the cheese. Smells really good. I'm gonna give that a little taste. Oh, the eggplant in here, it's amazing. I'm sure you could use dehydrated eggplant as well. Just maybe run it through your food processor to get it into small little pieces. That is amazing. Okay, we're ready to put together some raviolis. Wait till you see this. The star of this show is prosciutto. I'm going to be using 2 packages of prosciutto. That is going to make a lot of raviolis, but these freeze beautifully. So the next time we want to have some keto raviolis, I can just pop some out of the freezer and they'll be ready to fry in less than probably 30 minutes. So this is a little tedious. Again, I'll either fast forward through this or kind of skip to towards the end. But I'm going to be using 2 pieces of the prosciutto per ravioli. So I'm going to put 1 piece down this way. And 1 piece down the opposite way. I'm going to take some of the filling here, just a spoonful. I'm going to put it right in the center. And then I'm going to fold up all 4 sides one at a time. So I'm folding this one over and I'm crimping down on the edges all around the filling. And then I'll bring up the next side, crimping down the edges, and the next side. And there you have 1 ravioli. Oh, I need a plate. we have a mountain of raviolis. Now these are probably 3 to 4 per serving. I will cook up a batch or 2 in the pan, and then I will end up freezing the rest. This pan is on medium high right now. I'm gonna add just a tiny little bit of olive oil in here. And then we're gonna add the raviolis. These cook quick. I'm handling these really gently so as not to squeeze out the cheese sauce. They smell amazing. They've got really nice color to them, and they're gonna get softened in the sauce. I'm gonna scrape this pan out with a spatula, just get it a little bit clean, and then I'm gonna heat up some sauce in the pan. Next, we're gonna put in a whole jar of some homemade pasta sauce. This is from the 2022 garden. The pan is still hot, but I don't have the heat on. Now I'm going to get the noodles and put those in there. I'm going to turn the pan back on now, but I'm going to just turn it on medium. And I guess we are going to use all of them. Some pepper. Some garlic powder. And some onion powder. And again, seasonings are always to your preference, to your taste. Add as much or little as you want. Change it up with different seasonings. This is what we like. We're just cooking these noodles down a little bit more. They started to cook in the oven. I probably could have put them in when I started the raviolis. I'm honestly used to doing the Zoodles on the smaller spiral blade, but they end up really, really small after they cook down. So I'm trying the bigger one, and I could have cooked them longer, but that's okay. We're just gonna cook them in this sauce. While the raviolis are cooking, I'm going to get these put away in the freezer. So I've labeled a bag. I've put in one layer of these, and now I'm going to take a sheet of parchment paper. I'm going to fold it in half. I'm going to stick it in the bag with my hands in between the two layers so I can push it to the bottom of the bag. And then I have two more layers that I can do in here. So one where the palm of my hand is, and then one above that. And that way, when I want to make this again, I can just pull out as many as are on each layer of parchment paper. And now those are ready for the freezer. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and get the raviolis into the pot, into the pan. And that will help these soften up. They got a little crispy as we wanted them to when we fried them. See the beautiful color on there? And so the sauce is going to help those soften back up. That's it, about 2 more minutes. Here we have it, a full pan of keto raviolis. And while it took a little bit to get that done, there were a few steps involved. It's going to be delicious. The leftovers will be good too. I'm going to plate some up and we'll see how it tastes. The prosciutto is just a little bit salty, but that's good. The sauce is really good. That's from the garden. Can't go wrong there. And the noodles, you got a little tiny bite to them. I like it that way. I don't like them mushy. This is a really good meal. And if you're on keto or you want to try something different than a dough-based ravioli, go ahead and give these a try. Thanks for joining me in the kitchen today. My name is Kelly. Again, you're at A Better Choice Homestead, and I hope you come back and visit again soon.